So guess what? I finished Ishmael. That's upside down. Ishmael. I'm really happy that I finished it because that means I can actually read real books again. Not that this is a real book, which is what threw me off guard about having to read it for a class, because I had to read it for ecology. I got told by a lot of people, like, anytime someone would walk into my room and see this book, they would groan and be like, oh my god, I had to read that, blah. But it wasn't that bad. It was very intriguing. It made me think about a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have ever really thought of. But it's about humanity and what we need to do but what we won't ever do. But it's not in like a... It's a tell, not show book. It's about a man and his teacher. I'll get into that in a second. They meet and he explains these scenarios to him and stuff. So it's all just a big, long conversation. And there's a little bit of plot besides that. But it's mostly just he shows up day to day and the teacher teaches him things. The teacher, however, plot twist, is a gorilla. Yes. I read the first chapter and I was like, this doesn't seem so bad. I can see why it's class-like, but why it's still considered like a novel. And then I got to the part where, because he sees like this advertisement and he goes, it says like teacher seeking pupil, something like that. And so he goes to meet this teacher because it says something about saving the world. So this guy goes and he walks in this room and he sees this glass thing and he looks through it and he realizes he's looking at a gorilla, and the gorilla talks to him telepathically. And that's, at that moment I was like, oh, maybe everybody else was right about this book. But it was interesting, it just wasn't interesting. The scenarios he gives him and the way he talks about humanity is really interesting. It would make a good conversation to have with somebody. Like, if I was the narrator in the book, this would be a cool thing to have lived. Particularly if the teacher hadn't been a gorilla. But I guess that kind of fits with the moral of the story. It's not an adventure or anything like that. So if you like intellectual conversations and thinking of things in new ways, then read Ishmael. It was good. I did like it. Gave me a semi-new outlook on things. But if you want a good story with, you know, character development and an intriguing plot, don't read Ishmael. If you do have to read it for a class though, don't be discouraged, because everybody told me, oh my gosh, that book sucks so much, I hated it. But it really wasn't that bad. So, if you have to read Ishmael, give it a chance. I think a lot of colleges use it. Maybe just my college. Don't worry if you have to read it, and if it sounds interesting to you, go for it. Ishmael. So now I can get back on track with reading You Don't Know Me, and then we'll continue from there. If you have any book suggestions for me, leave them in the comments. If you have read Ishmael and want to tell me what you thought about it, leave it in the comments. And check out the other books I've reviewed. That's all, and I will see you soon. Bye!